I voted for Kamala, and I'm pissed that Trump won because he's such a dictator, bro. That. Trump.
All right, so we're in Eugene right now. As you know, the election is a hot topic. So we're going to be asking people what their thoughts on election is. What's your thoughts on election?
I think it's bullshit. I think honestly, just not enough people voted. I think straight white men specifically, a little bit older, didn't vote. But also a lot of people my age frustrate. It was frustrating to me because I feel like a lot of people have been saying they just don't feel enfranchised with the parties. I understand that because it's true. Like the representation under a majority rule, two-party system is not good. It's not proportional. But also, I don't think an argument that not voting or voting for someone that can't win, like Jill Stein, is a valid argument.
What's your thoughts on election?
I think the fact that the only two women to get the Democratic nomination to run for president, and the fact that both of them have lost to the same man, is proof that this country doesn't respect women, and we have a long way to go.
Do you think it's purely off because they were women, or?
I think it's not purely because they were women, but I think that there was a lot of disrespect in the Democratic Party because they were women.
What's your thoughts on election?
I think it's valid. I'm really depressed that 5 million Americans, over 50% voted for Donald Trump. It's kind of a depressing last week, but it's just 4 more years and we'll get through it.
So right now we're headed to downtown Eugene because the Saturday market, there's a good amount of people, but there wasn't as much. So let's hope we find more success over here.
He's not he isn't an inspirational artist or a crowd worker. He's a businessman and an actor, just like any president, really. You know, I don't believe that any of them have any real heart or soul in what they do. So, yeah, I can't say that he's the right pick, but I don't think the other one would have been either. I think they probably just want to suck up some oil where they can find it and make money where they can make it.
So you think there's just a general disconnect with politicians, pretty much?
Oh yeah, all politicians and the system in general, I think, is mostly a show. It's like reality TV. I'm pretty sure they're rigged every time, and it's just to keep the most people focused on being divided.
Do you think people should be losing friends based off their political beliefs?
I believe not, because even though I am Republican, most of my life I've had friends who are complete opposite of my views, and I'm still able to have a fun time with them. I care about them, and I listen to their problems and they listen to mine. But whenever it comes to politics, I'm always afraid of sharing how I feel, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose those friendships even though they matter so much to me. So some people have said to me, are they truly your friends then if they'll leave you over that? And personally, I don't know how to answer that because I'm scared, and I love my friends, but I'm really afraid I'm going to lose all of them after this.
What's your guys' thoughts on the 2024 election?
I was really disappointed. I'm very disappointed that America would trust a convicted felon over a woman to
Over a woman.
We need to have human. It's not about political parties. It's about human decency, respect, and morals. So if you voted for Trump, you.
I just think that it's really sad that they couldn't, people just don't want a woman in office, and I think that if it was a white man, he would have won.
Trump has only beat women. He lost to a man. This is the second time beating a woman. He has never beat a man in his election, and that says a lot.
What's your thoughts on election?
It's fucking scary. I don't know what the gonna happen, but
Are you worried about how the future's gonna look?
obviously, dude, I was scared either side, bro, but the future's just scary right now, dude. Scary at the end of the day, both sides.
Thoughts on the election?
I didn't vote.
I voted for Kamala, and I'm pissed that Trump won because he's such a dictator, bro. That. Trump.
Also, just
Trump.
she didn't vote because she's 17, so she can't.
I voted for Kamala.
17.
I voted for Kamala. Trump.
I would have voted for Kamala. Trump.
Wasn't the result that I voted for, but I'm okay with it, and I don't like when politics separate people. I Obviously, I would have preferred a different outcome, but, you know, what can you do?
So you feel as if even though you have a different opinion of how it turned out, it shouldn't divide people as it is, you feel like?
I think that's the goal. Like, yeah, that pretty much like sums up my feelings on it.
What's your guys' thoughts on the election?
I think coming from a household of 5 women, this most recent election was a really, really, really powerful event because we all felt the same hurt, and it hurt really bad to think that we came from a blue state where everyone supported each other and we were all on the same page, and to realize that we weren't was really disappointing.
Yeah, and like I also do feel like if we feel the hatred, our country is going to go in the wrong way. I feel like we need to connect on the same ideologies about kindness and about people having rights, and I feel like if we hate on each other for our political ideologies, things are going to go south, and that's what they want. So I feel like in the end it's best if we just come together, because in the end we are more likely to be like together than not together. Like there's more things that we have in common than not in common, and I do feel like it's important to recognize that, because shit go really south if we don't.
I was so surprised that our generation was this divided. I was so confident that we were all on the same page, and we were not.
So I have a question for you guys real quick. So even though you guys have like different opinions compared to like other people of our generation, I've been seeing posts of like people like, oh, if you voted for Trump, I want nothing to do with you in my life. Do you think like politics should divide friendships like that?
I think it just contributes to the main problem. I don't think that we should all be divided. I think we should come together and find a candidate that fits us all best, not some really old white man that half of us hate, half of us love. I think that division is not doing anything good for us.
Election.
Oh, it's about the election.
At the end of the day, it makes me really sad that like the economy is more important than body autonomy, but like it is what it is, and I just think we're gonna feel this hurt together and this loss together, and it's tragic, and we can just only, instead of being sad about it, we can lock in and come together and try to make some change. But it's just sad.
What's your thoughts on the election?
Honestly, I, as a woman, like, I am really sad, and I've been heartbroken, and I've been kind of grieving essentially what can happen. And I think the scary part of the election is there's going to be the arguments of Trump doesn't support Project 2025. He doesn't support a national abortion ban. But the scariest part is that there are no checks and balances anymore. So Republicans now have control of the House, the Senate. Eventually, during these 4 years, he's going to have the opportunity to appoint, Supreme Court justices. And those are lifetime appointments, and that I think that's the really scary part is, if you want to say the argument of like Trump doesn't support these certain things, there are followers and people, and there are extremist Republicans that do, and those are the people that are now in power. And I don't blame anybody for, I guess, voting for him, but I do really think it's a lack of education, that they don't understand how the government works, and that's a really sad part, and I hope for the best.
What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
Honestly, just like at the end of the day, I'm a little bit disappointed. We had a choice between a convicted criminal and a district attorney, and the choice was clear, and we decided not to do the right choice. So that happened, but at the end of the day, both candidates weren't fully, consolidated in their beliefs and everything. So, obviously, that's just like a full representation of how unsure the American society is of, we're going this way, yeah. I just think right now, more than ever, American politics has just become so separated and divided that now people just elect people out of hate. And, we looked at the polls. A lot of the people interviewed on the street said that, 80% of the people said that they agreed more with Kamala Harris's policies and everything. But if they were asked that question without knowing that it was Kamala Harris's policies, they said it proudly, and then they still, 50% chose on either side, So I think statistics shows a lot. But at the end of the day, it's still pretty subjective. We'll never know. I think we just got to pray for the next 4 years.
What's your thoughts on the election?
I thought it was very interesting.
What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
I mean, I think that's a tough place to begin on, but I think it really just speaks to how uninformed this country is, and that's sad. Definitely, I was pretty sad earlier this week, and yeah, I think it's definitely a little bit of a time of mourning, a little bit for America.
How come you say that?
I mean, I think it's just, I really think that people really don't understand who they're voting in and what type of policies that are going to be enacted from this next presidency. And I think that, statistics will show that. I think there was a poll recently that 80% of Americans would vote for Kamala's policies. However, because the Republican Party has such an intense rhetoric that's so polarizing, a lot of people are swayed to vote for that just because of the rhetoric, not because they actually believe in the policies.
And what's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
I also was pretty sad about it. It kind of makes me sad that there's a lot of people that don't have a better role model than maybe the person we just elected, and I think we can do better than that. I think listening to some of the things that are posted on social media are terrible, especially I have a little brother, and I really worry about his generation and the things they listen to. And I think some of the podcasts, not going to name names, but I think some of them are pretty misogynistic. Please get me in on this.
Yeah, it's sad that there's a whole base that really just kind of falls into that, which is really sad to see. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
My friends and I were definitely a little sad. I mean, it just was a really hard day when we woke up. Just because we knew that if we woke up with different results, we would have been so excited, There would have been doors open, more opportunities, more progress, but we woke up and it's almost like we're just going backwards now, But I think we've come to the consensus that, obviously there's nothing we can do about it, and you have to be okay with it. The other thing I will say is that when I vote next, I will be a 25-year-old woman, and that's just kind of shocking to me that I'm this passionate as the first-time voter. But next time, I will be a grown woman with more responsibility on my plate, more passion, and I just really hope that we have some better candidates running next time. But I'm glad that you guys are out here getting our opinion, because I think we have a really strong community base here that can really give good answers.
What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
The country was saved.
What makes you say that?
Because we're not going to...
Nah, it's okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, wait, you're fine. What's your question?
So I felt like it was really interesting that, everybody else got to say what they wanted to say, but then as soon as one person said, oh, I think our country is saved because Trump is in office, he got pushed away. And I feel like as Americans, if we agree that freedom of speech matters and we agree that we are entitled to each one of our opinions as individuals, we should not just be pushing people away like that, even if we have different values and beliefs. What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
My thoughts are it happened. That the results are the results. So there's not much we can do about it now. We just gotta live life, and yeah.
What's your thoughts on the 2024 election?
We had an election. It happened. There's elections, and people vote, and that's how shit happens,
Yeah,
so you vote, and then elections happen, and someone wins, and it's honestly some happens.
Trump is a scratch golfer, so.
Hey, he's got
I'm not gonna lie. 9 hole-in-ones. I don't believe that.
I do.
I don't think he's that good at golfing. I can't lie.
You think you could beat him?
Oh, I'm not good at golfing, but some of my boys like him over here. He's trying to hide because he doesn't want to. He want to get in the photo. He's too famous at golfing. 'Cause he's so good. But 9 hole-in-ones, I don't believe it. Maybe 6 hole-in-ones, I believe. 9, that's 3 too many. 3 too many.
Awesome. So as you can see, Eugene is more left-leaning compared to other places like my own high school. But overall, it was a very good experience. It was nice hearing how people thought about the election and their thoughts and their feelings about it. Obviously, it's a very controversial take, and we will see how this country turns out. Thank you, and subscribe.